Palm Springs has this vibe that is a huge draw for couples from all over the world.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter where they come from. It's a vibe. Palm Springs is a vibe.
Palm Springs also sort of opens up the artistic capabilities of people, where I feel like in other areas they're more confined, where here they come, they play with color, they play with design and texture, and artful food. Everything is so well thought out when it comes to just those details of beauty. And I love the fusion of the old Hollywood glam with new trends, and how and to watch that evolve as the years pass by, and how in the 90s it was a totally complete Hollywood aesthetic, and now we're seeing so many different things coming out with metals and all the new rentals that are available, and everybody ships here, and it's so easy to just bring whatever we can dream up here.
They come for a weekend.
Yes.
That's also what sets us apart. And we're a destination experience, but we're easy to get to, right? We're not going to Mexico, you don't have to have a passport, it's in the United States, but it's still this destination experience. And I think that's what really sets us apart.
My experience is that sometimes they don't even really understand. What I see is we have these beautiful alfresco dinners, and they think their guests are going to be really excited to get on the dance floor and have a big dance party. But I find at a lot of our boutique hotels that when people are eating outside, or the estates, they're so enamored of being outside in this beautiful weather that the dance party isn't quite the priority. It's the sense of community amongst their friends and family. So to me, I like kind of transitioning to an after party to make it the dance party, and just really melting into the experience of having 2 or 3 or 3.5 hours of outdoor dinner.
People don't come here to be inside.
A lot of them come from cold weather.
Right.
Yeah.
They don't get to eat outside for dinner al fresco with this kind of climate, this kind of imagery, this kind of landscaping. So I think that's a huge part of it too.
And the pool. It always has to go.
That's right, Sunday.
Pool party after, something has to go wrong.
Well, I always ask my where are your guests coming from? Chicago. I'm like, then don't expect more than 10% drop off, because it's February, which means it's snowy there and it's really nice here. Everyone's coming.
Get out of the snow.
And there's so many accessible destinations now.
Right.
The number of direct flights has increased exponentially, and then you can get connectors now from so many places. And it used to be you used to go to the airport and there's these tiny little planes with the 2 seats and the 1 seat and everybody. And now you don't see those at the airport anymore. They're all large planes. So the accessibility of the destination as a whole, it makes a huge difference also.
And we're gonna have direct flights from Mexico soon.
Every single wedding I design here is different. There's not one copy anywhere.
There's color, there's white, there's bougainvillea, there's
Patterns.
succulents, there's patterns.
Yes.
Nothing's the same, which is great. That's, I think, the amazing part about Palm Springs is it's a blank slate.
Palm Springs, like I said, has that vibe and that uniqueness. So couples, when they come here, understand that they can have a truly unique wedding no matter what that looks like.
Palm Springs really has a historical, generational effect where all of this ties in together with the architecture and the landscaping, and that I think that pushes couples to bring out their own voices and their own inspiration. And a lot of them tell me their inspiration to get married here was the architecture, was the vibes, was the photography of the Neutra House and all the other MCM houses that are out here.
This is a whole vibe. You get to the East Valley, and it's completely different. So you've got those different aesthetics. It's not going to be the same. What we plan in this area is not going to be the same 10 miles something.
You get more creatives.
You totally get more creatives.
Who are not afraid to step out of their little box and go, we want something different. Whether it's, like I said, I had a grandmother, she's like, we're going to Palm Springs. She made her own outfit.
Oh, yes.
I love her.
That splashes Palm Springs. So she made this cute little gown. I'm like, oh my God, you're awesome. But I think it's just we bring a little bit more creativity, and also just out of the box thinking that people are not afraid when they come down to Palm Springs. It kind of like, okay, what can we do? And keeping that excitement going and just continuing into the venues and everything else. It's awesome to me.
Well, and that's what's so exciting about the Thompson Company, is because I think you're adding another dimension.
Yep.
This is another dimension that's not here. It's gonna appeal to some of these same clients that we're taking to other properties, but it's giving them a whole other experience, and I think it's gonna bring in a whole other group. I think it's gonna really elevate the whole wedding industry
Yep.
here to
Agreed.
even more of these high-end weddings that we all wanna do.
That's right.
And make it
Let's
much more.
drink to that.
Well, and a lot of our, none of our venues
He represents really well.
are really the same. Like, you can walk into 5 or 6 box hotels in Orange County and they're the same. You come here, and I remember when I was working in hotels, I would always ask the brides or the couples, I'm like, where are you looking at next? And they'd say all these places, I'm like, well, that's comparing an apple to a grape, to a peach, to a piece of steak, and I'm like, they're not the same. You cannot compare apples to apples here because they're not. They're completely different. And that goes with that whole uniqueness. And I think that's why we find weddings that are completely different every single time we plan them, is because the venues aren't the same. They don't have the same look.
The way I position Thompson is really next generation luxury. You know, it has the lifestyle component, food and beverage is part of it, but what is a big part of the ethos of Thompson is that culture lives here. Culture lives in Palm Springs as well. We create and we build a community of people that are involved in culture, and they are culture shifters. You're all culture shifters because you're shifting the culture of weddings and celebrations in this community, which is why we're all here today, right? And we like to curate people that are culture shifters, and that's what we do best. And this is exactly the platform, for us to do it. And so I think our positioning is, again, going back to the basis of next generation luxury. And I don't want you all to think that next generation means it's a demographic. It's not a demographic. It's a psychographic, right? I'm a 50-year-old millennial. That's the way I see it, because I enjoy the programming, right, of the next generation luxury, which is what Thompson is all about, right? It's programming, it's design, it's food and beverage, it's all the different components come together, and that is the next generation of your customers as well, right? If they are 20 all the way to 60, they can really enjoy a Thompson. So that's the way we want to position weddings, as well in Palm Springs.
Being able to sell a new space that no one's ever had an event in, or very few people have, is a huge upsell, because they want to be the first. They want to be the first one to have one there, the first one to get it published. They want to be that first. So I think that's an easy positioning, I think, on our end.
Luxury, at least to me or to my clients, is how do you execute it from a service standpoint? So that's the luxury experience. So if you're flexible and your chef and your culinary team are open to new ideas, that to me is what is elevating the experience, and what it means to be within a luxury community.
We want to know what is available with the hotel that we don't have to bring in.
Right.
So rentals, kitchen build-outs, hosting Friday night welcome party, Sunday brunch. To me, kind of creating a base camp on the property would be a huge attraction.
I think the luxury client right now is, like somebody said over here, it's all about what hasn't been done. What's the new thing that we can do? And part of that conversation with the property needs to be, okay, I understand your standards, I understand what you provide. This is what we want to create. How can we do that? Rather than like a flat out, nope, that's not in the package, or nope, that doesn't come here. Like,
Or this is how we usually do things.
Yeah. So, the keyword, as Kathy said, the keyword for 2024 is definitely experiential, but it's also customization,
Yes.
right? That's the big thing for luxury clients, is they want to do it the way that they see it, or that we enroll them in the best way to doing it, but having that open relationship with the planners and the partners that come in to make it possible.
But I think it's more than just the planners and the partners and the head of, the catering side. I think it involves more on, the chef, the culinary team, because I love where it's a wedding is an experience on taste, on music, on the whole vibe. And the thing is can I talk to the chef 6 months before?
Right.
And let's really dive in
Yeah.
and get something really exciting. Like, yeah, I might want to have a caviar with my wine with a nice little pita chip with, like,
Yes,
can we do
yes.
this? Like, if my client's willing to do this, then let me talk with the chef, instead of waiting 2 months before without you. So it's, I think with that is the flexibility and the experience. You wanna get up to that elevated area, well, let's really get it up there. Let's think about it, what we can do to get everyone so excited.
Sometimes I think that the chefs and the venues don't think of weddings in the same way as they would think of like a high-end corporate group. Whereas the high-end corporate group will customize a menu 6-7 months out as they're contracting, but the couple in general just doesn't seem to have the same level of stature. They're like, oh, they want to customize. Well, what do they want to customize? Well, they're willing to pay the money, so let's do this. Don't think of them as just somebody who doesn't have the pocketbook because it's a corporate event.
No, weddings are spending just as much as corporate
They
events.
definitely are, and to have that experience, I just don't think that I think they've always seen a wedding as, here's your banquet menus, this is what we're gonna do, we can customize a little bit, but that's not how we're gonna work it. So I think to get the venues out of the mindset of being set in that this is what they're gonna do, it would be
I also
huge.
think that couples are looking for something different.
Yeah.
Hearing that all the time. I don't want the wedding my best friend had. I don't want the wedding my sister had. I want an experience for my guests. That's the driving word right now, is experience for the guests. And having the property that creates a broader experience, and we just saw that today, I think is really gonna drive an interest, a whole diversity of couples. Which I think that's what's also appealing about it, is, our demographic is huge. 10% of our business last year was over 60, couples over the age of 60, spending lots of money. And they're gonna like this, and they're gonna go before this,
Right.
as much as those 28-year-olds.
And it's not just a day, it's weekend experiences,
Yes.
multi-day events. Every time I'm, planning a wedding out here, it's 3 days at a minimum. So they want those experiences for their guests, to experience the town, to experience the resort, to experience all the things, the food, and really immerse themselves, that's a great word, immerse themselves in the destination that they're getting married in.
And I think what you've done a really good job with is, couples come and they want to experience a destination, but as a hotel, you want to keep all that revenue on property. And what you've done, and no, it's going to go on property, it's fine. You have all these little vignettes and different experiences and food. They can have all those experiences over the course of 3 days and never actually have to leave. And they probably will venture out to go shopping. But when a couple comes in, they don't have to. They can have a full experiential weekend and have it in different locations around your property and never have to leave.
I look at Palm Springs, the Hamptons of LA. I really totally
I like that.
It's the Hamptons of LA. There is no doubt in my mind. I see customers coming in. They come from LA. They are tired of the hectic, of the traffic, of the upkeep and wasting time, precious time, getting from point E to point A to point B. And here you have it all. And it's not just the resort and layback. There are really extremely diverse and interesting people living part-time here, full-time. And they want the relaxed layback feel, but they want the extra kick of chic as well. And we have that in the hotel, Thompson coming, definitely. We have that with new restaurants opening here, just new shopping experience. The arts is exploding here, and galleries, but it has a really good feel without hectic to it. And I think this is what really people and guests, wedding guests, seeing as well, of seeking, let me put it this way. That's my point of view, not coming from a wedding.
It's nice having the point of view of somebody that's moved here and sees it from the outside. So, yeah, I like that. We're gonna coin that.
Trademark it.
Right.
But she said we could have it. So we can steal it.
Well, I think what that does for the wedding market, because I am very tired of people coming here and saying, oh, I thought this would be less expensive.
Yes.
No.
I mean, this is the Hamptons.
Yep.
Why are they less expensive?
Yep.
There's no doubt in mind, there's really no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
Where else you want to go from LA that has the chic, the weather, the climate, the people, and I don't know, I always say the sun is all over the same, but the lighting is different. It really is different. It's the same sun,
Yeah.
but the lighting in the morning, the mountains, and it all comes, and especially when you saw the Thompson, I said, when I walked in, I said, wow, I actually see a palm tree from top. Usually you just look it up. But it's such a level, and Thompson created that hotel. When I walked through it, it felt like I'm walking through a village in Europe. And it wasn't even finished yet. It's not finished yet. So I think we're in for some really good, beautiful moments here. We really are.
You know, the nice thing about Palm Springs is that we do have an inclusive reputation, if you will, right? So when the calls come in from me, it's like, we know Palm Springs, it's very inclusive, there's a lot of LGBT there, where do we go? Being inclusive is being inclusive to all couples, you know, mixed races, you know, just mixed beliefs, you know, so you be inclusive, you know, what does that really look like? So that's what I teach, and so I think that a wedding professional, planner, venue, DJ, whoever you might be, you have to first of all educate yourself, because you don't know what you don't know. I say that all the time. And when you start educating yourself, make sure you begin to educate those around you. Do you know what diversity means? Do you know what inclusion means? Do you know what that means to a couple? You know, and those are important questions to ask. And if your employees can't answer those questions, then you need to train, or you need to step up. And we all know being certified with credentialing, it validates your knowledge, right? It just validates the information that you know. So being inclusive certified is, there's different companies that do it, different services that do it, so it really depends on what you're looking for. What I do is I teach wedding industry how to be an ally, per se, as opposed to understanding what microaggressions mean. Why all the whys, right? As opposed to, you have to know this. So my approach is different. When couples call me, it's a matter of, I know someone's inclusive, it's a matter of, do the people they work with, are they inclusive? Or, you know, the people at the restaurant, the busboys, because the couples that I interview, when I talk with them about this, it's not necessarily the vendor or the planner one-on-one or the DJ or whatever. It was the busboy, it was the server, it was someone from the kitchen, it was, you know, that could have spoiled the evening had they allowed it to happen. So that's when I stepped in and say, okay, I know you are, but what about everyone you surround yourself with? Can they deliver to this couple a complete safe environment where they're going to feel safe? Because that's the big word right now. Not only safe for the couple, but safe for the family, safe for their friends. You can confidently stand there and say, everybody that's going to be involved in your wedding, they're inclusive. They're educated, they're trained, I've worked with them, whatever that looks like. You know, that elevates you to a level that not a lot of other places can do.
Right.
Yes. We have taken a photographer off of our list
Yep.
because we found out they were not.
Same. I refuse to work with anybody that isn't. It's the first question I ask. Anytime I get an intake form from a vendor that says bride name, groom name, I ask them to change it if they want me to recommend them. I feel like it starts at home.
It does.
You know? And like, I just don't use that language. I don't say bridal party. I don't say, so many venues say, here's our bridal suite.
Right.
How are you gonna sell that to two men? Like, it's like, come
True.
on.
You can't.
It's, to me,
Well, you might be able to.
yes. It's you don't know what you don't know, but is sometimes that an excuse
No.
for like ignorance of like, we just don't need to
It's
use
so
those
out there
words
in the
anymore.
conversation now that people can't claim ignorance anymore.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
sorry.
not on that
It's
level.
like,
No.
That's
There's
just
too much.
refusal.
Yeah.
I do a lot of ethnic weddings, and I'm leading teams that have totally different cultural backgrounds. And I mean, I come from servant leadership, so it always works for me. But I've seen other planners and, you know, sometimes it's DJs or entertainers, they really struggle because their ego gets in the way. And it's really, you can see a lot of the experience of people in the industry based on how they approach difficult situations and challenges. And I think it's really important, like you're asking, hey, how is your food and beverage background? It's like, well, how do you handle hard situations? Those are very powerful questions to ask as well.
Well, I think ageism is the next part of.
What did you say?
Ageism.
That needs to be discussed, because there really is a discrimination against older people in the
Yes.
world and in the industry at large. And as I said, 10% of our business last year was over 60 weddings, and they spent a lot of money.
They like to spend money.
And they went to places where they saw themselves. They saw
Right.
themselves on the website, same as a gay couple. 10%, they need to know that they're wanted and included and valued, and oh, there's another couple that looks like me, and they're 75 and they're getting married.
Yeah.
And full-on wedding dress, full-on walk down the aisle, 200 guests.
And nothing's going to go wrong, and they're not going to be insulted, their guests are not going to be insulted, and that, you know, that's what
Oh,
we're
are you
looking
the
for.
father of the bride? No, I'm the groom.
How do you recover from that?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
Think before you speak.
That is why we have a picture of the couple and we definitely send it out to all vendors.
And that's why I don't used to go at H anymore, I used to go at level. My level is 58, and I just want to level up.
Oh, I like that.
That's a cheer, that's a cheer. You wanna level up, yeah.
What was great about the Thompson is like looking at the views, especially where you saw the tops of the palm trees, and really looking at how we could bring in florals that just complement that as opposed to take away. I've seen a lot of Maxwell, a lot of florals, but like how can we really have that picturesque landscape and then just really complement it and add to it and do something bespoke and a little more artful. That's kind of where I would love to see like the florals going. I specialize in doing wearables, so I work with bouquets that can be turned into headpieces for the party and different things like that. Anything is possible, and I really love to take things and a little challenge. I like a little challenge, so like making a bouquet. Even I was talking to Sabine the other day, she was like, that's great, what about the bouquet then turning into something that's on the table? Like, how can you repurpose things? Because I think there's a lot of waste.
Yes.
And sustainability is a huge part of our world, and especially like, I know you have a lot of mature clients, but like the Gen Zs, like 82% of them are worried about the climate and sustainability, and there's so much waste that goes on in the floral industry and one-use plastic that I think in the desert we need to honor the fact that sustainability is key.
I had a couple that that was like a hot, I think the word sustainability happened every 10 minutes in our conversations, every call. And she actually found a florist, she found her, that composts all the flowers at the end of the night. And I'm like, oh, didn't know that was an option. So that was huge for her. She's like, I don't even care what the price is. I don't care what anyone else is. That's who I'm going with.
And that's the sort of thing that we need to look at. You know, we have drought tolerant landscapes here, yet we will fly in flowers from around the world using so much energy, using so much water, even to like grow them. And there's beautiful things in the desert that we could be utilizing and making it much more of a, something that's special to the desert. How can we utilize the landscape, and how can we add to that and not add to the landfill, not add to, but making something beautiful, like spending the money on something that's bespoke and gorgeous that they will forever remember. And I think people don't think of flowers as being a big impact because they're nature, they're beautiful, but the impact that it took to get the flower to where it is. So like, how can we choose special flowers that last in the desert, that, and can we mix them with something that's dried? Can we use them in an artful way? Can we paint them? How can we work with it? So for me, I'm always looking for like, what's next, and like, how can I evolve the floral conversation? And then how can we add in these bespoke items?
There's so many artists living in here. There's
Yeah.
so many great local artists in here.
artists.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That does sculptures. I mean, Dory's one of them. She's made a couple of pieces for us, but just adding it to the centerpieces, and I think a little bit of that is Palm Springs, but I'm waiting for that couple to come to me and go, all right, we want to go totally out of the box. I'd be like, oh my God, yes.
But it starts with us having that conversation with them.
And being able, but it's always, it's, because we've seen it all. We have seen it all. So we're always looking for just totally out there. Like, I've been pitching this, well, Nicole and Kathy, I've been pitching a fresh shootery board.
A what?
A fresh shootery board.
Yeah. Like French fries?
Yes, a frishootery board of French fries.
Oh, I'm so, yes.
That's a late night snack right
It's
there.
on our menu at
That's
Thompson.
right.
Now,
Different dipping sauces.
Right?
I'm all over that, Angela.
Thank you. Anyways, no one has gone for it, but you know what?
She just pitched it at like.
I'm gonna, we'll see who can get it first.
That's right.
Once that's on the table, I'm like, I need 50 pictures of this, please. But going back to the artist, I think Palm Springs is a part of that too, is just the art and thinking of new things and thinking of sustainability, because we've had clients now, like 3 of our clients actually have said, hey, we're worried. Where do these flowers go? What
And
do we
also,
do
it's
with
the
that?
vessels that they're in as well.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
the foam is a one use, which it is harder in the desert because of the water and everything, but, you know, just trying to find workarounds with that and just reusing and repurposing what we have already.
And I just came back from it wasn't a conference, it was just like a panel conversation. And sustainability, experiential sustainability, music travel are like the 3 top trends in the next couple of years for like Gen Z. And if people are willing to actually travel to go see music.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Come
Taylor
on.
Swift changed the world, right? We all know it. But sustainability, but different than when sustainability was popular like 10, 15 years ago. When green became the buzzword and all of a sudden you put a green color on something and it was the thing, right? Like people, like the Gen Z is educated in what it means.
Yes, they are.
They are educated. It's not a buzzword. It's not just a trend. They actually care.
And it's a
yes,
time
they know what it
actually
means.
care.
Right.
Yes, that was a
Everything.
big conversation because it takes a shift in our industry.
Mhm.
Because it stinks, but we're a very wasteful industry.
I actually just saw a TikTok, funny enough, today, and the caption on it was, "Dad let me cut my wedding dress," and I'm like, that's odd. And you see a bridesmaid, not kidding you, cutting the wedding dress right at like thigh level, and then you see her walking away in this absolutely ridiculous, cute party dress now. Because she cut it right there on the spot, and it became a party dress that she'll probably wear again because it didn't look like a wedding
I
dress.
can so understand it.
I mean, it was so, I mean, at first I was like, what? But I'm like, no, that makes total sense.
Because there's a huge shift also of couples and brides specifically wearing their mom's dress.
Yes.
That's a huge trend that's coming.
Or I've seen it for rehearsal dinners too, like remaking it for rehearsal dinners, which I think is a great.
You should be designing these dresses so you can take them.
I totally agree with that.
This becomes something else.
Yes, put this on.
We all know Tinder, right, the dating app, just did a survey of all of their users, and specifically it was Gen Z. And the interesting thing about Gen Z that amplified to this group is that they're very interested in relationships. They want that one-on-one, they want to build that bond. Unlike millennials, nothing to say bad about millennials, it was more go to college, you know, worry about getting married after college, have your kids after college. Gen Z is a little different. They want relationships. They want to meet someone. They want to get to know them. They want to spend their lifetime with them. And they want to get married. And they want to get married. They want to get married to the highest percentage we've ever seen before in generations. Like 95% of the survey came back and said, I want a lifetime partner to spend my life with. So when it came to the wedding part, the wedding question, it was all about experiences. You know, it's all about experiences. I was very happy to hear today where you're doing the little small elopements and little special, because that's key to this generation, because they want that friendship, that family, that closeness, that tininess, whatever that number will be, right? But the inclusiveness it's their soul. It's what they breathe. It's their expectation. You can't skip a beat.
I think it's really important for us to continue raising our standards and keeping them high and not going backwards. Always improving, always being better, always really striving for that next level experience in hospitality, in design, in customer service, in anything. So as a wedding market, I think that's really important that we all work together to continue raising the bar.
And I think that what's going to continue to set us apart is that if you come into the Palm Springs wedding and events and you're like, it's me, thank you, and I'm not going to work with any of you people, you're not going to survive.
Yeah.
No,
right?
We all talk.
We all talk. We've created a community of supporting each other, and that can only do one thing, and that can only like move it forward. right? Like if we need
Go
to ask for
together.
help, if we need ideas, or anybody who wants to be, and I'm not saying that we're not individuals, but anybody who doesn't want to be part of the community, they're not going to stay in the community. And I think that that's one thing that elevates Palm Springs as an event and wedding destination above other places is the couples, they feel it, right? Like you go to a big city or you go to another destination and there's this
Air.
yes. And here it's like, we can create what you want, we can do what you want. I got people, if I can't do it, I'm gonna find out who can. Like people wanna come here because there is that environment and it can only make us better.
There's a real familial aspect. I have couples say, I love that your second photographer is also the husband of my florist and whose neighbor is my planner. Like, that's such a powerful thing that we all support each other and we all share each other's photos. We all share our resources with each other as vendors. I try to make sure I send all my photos to all the vendors that we all work together so that we can always showcase the best of what we do here.
Yeah, I think going off of that, I mean, I don't care who, I walk into a wedding and the vendors start coming in, the first thing I do is give them a hug. Because I haven't seen you in a while, how's it going? Like, it's that family, it's like, that's what I absolutely love about this desert. And it's been that way since I got here 15 years ago. It's just
I have
amazing.
something to say to that. I feel like Palm Springs is people live here because they want to. It's
Right.
not because they have to. And there's work because of the industry of infrastructure. They really want to live here. And I think that makes a difference because you're here because you want to be here. And I see this more and more in all ages. I had a young couple coming in, they came from LA, living here now. And I said, you actually like being here? And they said, yes, I'm tired of the big city.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. And it gives everybody that works and lives here a very nice, not stressful attitude. And it just gives it a better vibe, a better atmosphere, the thing that you can't see and touch, but it feels right. So I think makes it a little bit better.
Well, I hope that this forum is a testament to not only, our commitment, to have everyone together, but it truly is a testament for me that there is huge camaraderie here in Palm Springs, and we're excited to be part of it, and I'm really glad that we have done this together. There will be a part 2, and 3, 4, 5,
Wonderful.
And I think it's such a great forum because we have, obviously, rare finds. The way I see Sabine is such a rare find and gem, and with all of you, there are rare finds too, as part of Culture Shifters, and then we have Palm Springs Live. It's like the meeting of the minds, right? And through these collaborations, we can only get better, and we can evolve a destination better, and that's what I'm looking forward to. So,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Stand.